Alright guys, so on Facebook not too long ago, I had a pretty long and meaningful conversation with a pretty good group of people. Some of it led into some private messages, some of it was open in some public pages, but it was about their fire kit, and I was discussing my fire kit, what I keep, and I didn't really get flack about it, but just kind of some people were surprised about what I carry, and where they were surprised was excuse me, when I mentioned that I carry a lot of Surefire, like Mini Inferno. I even have Wet Fire, that I've bought probably a year ago, but I still keep it. And they were like, well, somebody that's been practicing bushcraft for as long as you have, and I've been doing this for a while, shouldn't even need Surefire. Well, I mean, sorry, but I do. And there's reasons why I do that, and that's why I wanted to show you guys this video. Was, yeah, I own the skill of primitive fire. In my mind, I own that skill. Pretty much 90% of the time, given the right conditions and the right wood, I'm gonna get a coal. But I've been practicing primitive friction fire and primitive fire. In my mind, there's two different categories. There's primitive fire, which is everything from that set is taken from the landscape, even the cordage. I use pine root. That's a really good suggestion for people. The pine root is from very small pine, white pine or red pine saplings, really stringy and holds up really, really good. Other than that, there's friction fire set, which would use like modern cordages and things like that for that set. So there's two different theories of thought there, but needless to say, I feel, in my opinion, that I own that skill. So does that mean that I'm just not going to carry Surefire in my pack anymore? Absolutely not. There's many times when I'm hiking to my camp and it's snowing, raining, everything's blistering cold. I'm not going to get a friction fire set out and start a bow drill fire. I'm going to go get a fire as fast as possible. I'm going to use a Bic lighter, I'm going to use some Surefire, I'm going to get a fire going right then and there, right now. Because I want to get warm. It's plain and simple. So, Surefire has its place in everyone's pack, from the novice beginner to the experienced woodsman. No matter who you are, what your skill level is, I would say you probably should keep some kind of a Surefire, no nonsense, I need a fire right now method in your pack. So let's go ahead and show you guys what I carry. Alright guys, what you're looking at now is my belt pouch, and I pretty much wear this wherever I go. It's always with me. If you catch me out without it, then you win a prize. First off, what you can tell on the very lip of it is that I've treated it with buffing compound, and that's for me to strop my blades with it at night when I'm ready to do tool maintenance. I carry a sewing kit in here. The needles can be used for many things. I got safety pins in there that can be used for anything from fishing to, God, there's a million uses for those. I use chaga on a daily basis. A lot of you know this. A lot of you even comment that I, pretty much mention chaga every single video that I do, which I do. But I always keep this stuff around. Not only is it good for fire, it's good for medicinals. I use it as a medicinal. So that's always in my hip pack. A very big, beefy, robust 1/2 inch by 6 inch ferro rod that has taken probably about 2 years of abuse, and it shows. But on this ferro rod, I keep a jute lanyard and a handle made out of Gorilla Tape. Basically, this is a fire kit. I can shred this Gorilla Tape, and I can pull apart this jute, and this jute rope lanyard right here is probably about, probably a good 20 foot. All twisted up and rolled up several different times. Now, this striker that's on the end of here was given to me by my buddy Chris. He's Prepared Mind 101. If you guys haven't seen his channel, then go check him out for sure. But it's just one of those things where even the lightest touch just kind of shoots material right off of that ferro rod. Had great success with this striker, and I tell you the truth, I really, until now, I've never even carried a striker. I usually use the saw for my multi-tool, or something else, the back of my knife, anything. So there's fire there. Me personally, I like sassafras a lot. I always keep a big thing of sassafras root, just medicinal that I carry as well. always keep a lighter. You know, surefire, unless it's bombing cold or I'm in really extreme high altitudes, which I usually don't go in very high altitudes very often. Burley Bomb, just did a video on this. This stuff hardly ever leaves one of my kits. And that could be used for fire as well. You know, if I have some kind of a dry material, even my shirt or anything like that, soak that in Burley Bomb, one end of it, light the other end. That's going to be fuel for that fire. Always keep Nagura stone. These things have a really, really high grit, and just helps me sharpen my blades out in the field. Other than that, some dregs of chaga in the bottom there. This is a small wrap of fat wood, and I found this fat wood probably about a year ago. It's still very, very good, and it was a nice red pine stump. What I do is I like to take maybe an old bandana or some kind of other cotton material and wrap my fat wood in it. Keeps it protected for the most part, and this is just cotton material for charring and etc. So as you can see, just right there is, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 things for fire right there alone. And that was just in the main pack. In this leather pouch, there's a little side, a little front pouch that I keep a product from NorCal Survival, live fire. Great, 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 surefire. That thing can burn, I believe, for up to, I don't know, I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked, but I think the whole thing will burn for like 45 minutes or so. Or you can stretch it out and only burn a little bit of it at a time and get multiple fires out of it. I've used this tin right here, probably about 30 times, 20, 30 times. Still going strong. So the other things that are in here are for sharpening. It's a diamond rod and an Arizona fine stone that I used the Nagura stone with to create a slurry, but we'll do that in another video. So that's just my belt pouch, you know, alone, which never leaves my body. So I've got 5 things there that I know are going to get me a fire, no matter what. If my lighter's not working or it's out of fluid for some reason, I got the ferrocerium that's in the rod or in the lighter alone that I can use to strike. If not, I still have my ferro rod, which is my go-to method for creating fire out in the woods anyway. The fat wood, in my skill set, is surefire to me. I'm gonna get fire from fat wood no matter what. Let's kind of police all this stuff up real quick. You know, I always have a certain way to pack my gear. Kind of play Tetris with it to get it in there in the right way anyway. But I always have a certain order that things go in. And that's so, even when it's dark out, even when I can't see, everything's pitch black, I still know just by touch and feel where my gear is in my pack, in my belt pouch, you name it. So that was just my belt pouch. And that fire kit alone is, you know, more than enough to get me through for whatever I need. You know, that's going to last me a really long time. But my Haversack also contains a fire kit also, and let's go ahead and go into that. Alright guys, so in my Haversack alone is what I would mainly use for my fire kit. This is when I'm actually getting ready to make a fire. I'll pull out my Haversack, grab the items that I need from my Haversack. The ferro rod that you see in the hip pack is what I use probably about 90% of the time. But I do carry a secondary ferro rod in my Haversack. It's the Strike Force, really good ferro rod. He's kind of cleaned up a little bit, but kind of tell how long it's been since I used this one. But like I said, this is a really great ferro rod. Ferrocerium rods are probably my go-to method for making fire. It's one of the methods that I've practiced the most with. But the inner contents of my tin here, and this is a tin that my buddy gave me. I thought it was pretty cool, so I went ahead and packed that. It's Surefire. You know, this is my no nonsense. It's cold, it's wet, I need a fire right now. And this is a wet fire. This thing has been crushed up inside the package. The package has not been opened before, and I've got probably 3 or 4 of these that are in the same condition. And I've had this Surefire, man, it's probably been 3 years now, and well, two and a half years, I'd say. So about 6 months ago, I grabbed some of the other ones and I opened them up just to test them out. Like, man, these guys have been crushed up inside the package for God only knows how long. Let's see if they actually still work. And they work just like a fresh one did. Had no complaints with it. So other than that, that would be Surefire in my opinion. I keep a lighter in this kit here alone. And in this little bag here is my glass. My magnifying glass. But you know, solar ignition is pretty important to me, because if I can use the sun, that just means that I'm not using any other resources in my pack, and my resources that are in my pack are going to stretch just that much further. So that's that little piece of chaga that was left over from my hit pack. But this is something I use a lot, and like I said, this is for when I really just need to get a fire going right here, right now. And that is Micro Inferno. This is a really, really cool product from the Pathfinder store. One that I use, like I said, on a lot. And this stuff, I can take this one stick, and this is even 3/4 of a stick. I could probably make 4 fires out of this stick alone. And like I said, this is 3/4 of a stick. You know, as long as I have dry enough tinder, this is going to get me a fire no matter what. You know, and if I have marginal tinder, I'll bust up a whole one of these and light it. It'll go for, I don't know, I haven't timed them, but probably at least 5-6 minutes, if not longer. But you know, I hate to kind of say that I'm an experienced woodsman, but somebody that has been doing this as long as I have, you know, I still carry Surefire in my pack. You know, and that's kind of what I'm trying to get to. It wasn't an argument, but it was a discussion that just really kind of didn't make sense to me when somebody was saying, you know, an experienced woodsman shouldn't ever have to carry Surefire in their pack. Absolutely should. You know, yes, I know how to make fire in pretty extreme conditions, whether it's cold, whether it's wet. If I didn't have this, I would go to my training and my practices, and that's why I train. That's why I practice constantly, to get that synapses reaction down, to get my muscle memory down, to where when I'm nervous as all heck, because when bad things happen, you're going to be your sympathetic nervous system is going to take over, and so when you're dealing with that, you're not going to second guess what you're going to do. You're going to know what to do. But having Surefire in your pack is just going to ensure your success and your survival. I keep beeswax candles in my kit as well. There's tremendous benefits to having beeswax candles. We're going to do a video solely on these beeswax candles and the benefits of carrying them in your pack here really shortly. I keep Gorilla Tape in my pack, and I've done a video not too long ago on the duct tape tinder bundle, and actually I did a redo of that video as well because there was somebody that was having some issues with it. But you know, this is cordage, it's tape, it's fire. You know, there's many things that this one little roll of tape is, and in my main pack is a bigger roll of this. This is just from my Haversack kit, and this Strike Force carries Micro Inferno in it as well, so I carry Surefire in there as well. So you know, when people ask me how do I build a fire kit or what should I pack as far as fire goes, I always tell them, you know, build a fire kit to suit you. You know, what do you need? Do you need lighters? Do you need a propane torch? You know, whatever you need, what your skill is, that's what you need to pack. You know, I just showed you some of the things that I pack, you know, and they're for multi-purpose reasons usually. like the Gorilla Tape and chaga and things like that, jute cordage. You know, those are things that are for multi-purpose, but they go back to fire as well. You know, I don't usually carry them just for that sole purpose, but that's what they can be used for. And then there's things that in my pack that are mainly just for fire, you know, and that's the only thing that in my pack that only has one use. You know, a ferro rod only has pretty much one use, that's for getting fire. But fire is so important to me, and it's so multi-use in itself. You know, from fire I'm going to get medicinals, I'm going to get tools, I'm going to get containers, you know, I'm going to get things that I can reproduce a lot of my kit, but it takes fire to do some of those things, you know. So I guess it all boils down to is, you know, I'm not ashamed to carry Surefire in my pack. And that's, I think, what was the Facebook discussion. It was trying to kind of put somebody down because they carry Surefire. You know, the easy way is what they called it. I'll take the easy way all day long. You know, when I need a fire like that, first thing I grab is my 10 and the Surefire. Alright, well, the purpose of this video wasn't really to downgrade anyone or to get down on anybody or anything like that, but you know, I really didn't like the way that certain people were talking to some of the other guys that were in the discussion that we were having. You know, so I decided, you know, this would be a great opportunity to do a video on this subject, you know, because this isn't the first time that I've been involved in a discussion like this. Anytime that you're on any kind of bushcraft page or anything like that, and you know, there's certain subjects that just really spark people's interest, like guns, knives, and fire, you know, what goes in your kit, things like that. Those are usually going to be pretty lengthy discussion. But like I said, that wasn't the first time that I've been in a conversation like that, where somebody was kind of picking on somebody a little bit, I guess you could say, because of the fire kit that they made, you know, and that just really doesn't make sense to me. You should just pack whatever you want to. I mean, if you want to pack a blowtorch on your back, it's your back, not mine. But you're definitely going to get fire. You know, but you know, once your skills improve, and once you are familiar with, or comfortable, I should say, with your fire making abilities, then your pack's going to shrink. Your fire kit's going to shrink. But that holds true with pretty much any skill. You know, once you get out into the bush and practice your skills, and you know, I guess the long and short of this video is, you know, you're going to pack in your fire kit what you feel you're comfortable with using. And you know, once you get out there and you practice your bushcraft skills a little bit more, and you get with some knowledgeable people, or you watch YouTube videos and you memorize them and then go out and practice them, and you own those skills, you're going to see that your fire kit is going to start to shrink. And that holds true with other skills as well. You know, once you, like I said, get with somebody that's knowledgeable and get practicing your skills, and you know, so on and on, your whole pack will start shrinking. You know, the more you know, the less you need. Holds true. It's very true. You know, I started out when I was a kid. I mean, even as a kid, I would bring a lot of stuff out, you know, and, you know, getting with some other knowledgeable people, some that aren't famous, that aren't popular, but they were very, very extremely knowledgeable. My pack started shrinking just then, you know, and that was when I was a kid. My fire knowledge really started taking over, and then my fire kit started shrinking. You know, I used to carry everything known to man to create fire. You know, now I carry 3 main things, and then other things in my pack that can be used for fire, but are usually used for something else. Alright guys, well, this has been William Myers, Mass Outdoors. Just kind of hopefully that'll clear up some misconceptions about what some people carry and what some don't, and why they carry them. You know, like I said, Surefire is always going to be a part of my kit, you know, just because fire is so important to me that if I need it right here, right now, I know that I have things in my kit that's going to get it to me. So, like I said, this has been William Myers, Mass Outdoors. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, remember to click subscribe. Liking my video helps me and my channel out a lot. Appreciate all your views, comments, and support. And hopefully, we'll see you out in the woods. And just kind of keep it in this pouch to keep it protected. And it's a really, really powerful magnifying glass. Whoa, it's not protected anymore. Like I said, it wasn't the first time that I've been involved in a discussion like that, and to where people were kind of like, Alright guys, this has been William Myers, Mass Outdoors. Hopefully this kind of cleared up